This is the 2-0 head-to-head for Cloud9. So if they were to come back at any point, the halfway mark is the best to bring it 2-2 for the season. Cloud9 is going to send Sneaky to the mid lane. I'm sure we'll see actually Voidboy doing that, because Cop usually isn't the one to be mid. Only a few teams will do that. Just clearing out, making sure nobody's pushing.
And the 4.3 notes starting item check that we like to do with the Door and Shield nerf, it losing 20 health and 4 health regen per 5. You can still see a Door and Shield from Bunny Fufu and that blue item for Elimination. The Spell Thief said.
Do you prefer the good cop or the bad cop?
Sneaky allowed his team to sneak past, actually.
Want another shot?
They're doing some pings for maybe an invade onto Bunny Fufu.
Oh, High is actually going through the river here, so he may be seen.
Slow down.
Glitter Lance there, but quite a distance to be closed in for the rest of Cloud9. A little bit of vision is not going to give him much, but it does not look like they want to give up.
Funny enough, Elimination got 15 gold out of that because he got all 3 of his stacks off from his item. So worth.
You said the laning phase needed to go somewhere. Looks like it's in favor of Cloud9 right now. He's initiating. He's going in. It's from playing with them
Being
so
on the
much.
same page.
Same page, same team, same time. They're going to back off from this endeavor for now. And we see, I believe, the Cloth 5 pop from Quas in the top lane.
Try and go toe-to-toe with the Renekton.
Yeah. A lot more Doran's Blades just officially coming out on that Renekton. No more shields. No Moss.
Yeah, generally the Doran shield is for very auto-attack heavy people that you need to sustain through, but Renekton actually does a lot of spell damage in the top lane, which is why Quas's defensive option this time is the Cloth and 5 health potions. I agree with that choice.
A little bit of early harass going on to both sides as Voidboy putting more balls in the lane. Consumable to none. Quick distortion in as soon as he can.
Just realized this game's going to be confusing. Voidboy's dropping balls everywhere, balls in the top lane.
Yeah.
How are we going to keep track of it all?
Too many balls on the field. They're just laughing at each other in the mid lane. Voidboy's trying to taunt High out here. Looks like High kind of telegraphing his attacks a little bit, but also hovering to the side of Meteos, so not really telegraphing anything, just trying to help out.
So why was this invade so successful when they're just invading straight onto a 2v2 lane? It was because Cloud9 so quickly shoved that bottom lane that they were level 2, and Cobb and Bunny Fufu had to wait at the turret in order to get the experience. Therefore, I Will Dominate could not safely go in for his blue buff. A very good counter jungle plan by Cloud9 there. And Meteos able to steal away the blue buff from I Will Dominate.
Dominate knows what this is like. He has had his blue buff stolen, especially on Gragas. Everybody remembers that game. So he stays in the top side of his jungle. High actually kicked out of distortion on that. Quick fingers from Voidboy. Very nicely done.
Awesome shot right there by Voidboy. Keeping High a little bit back. He's going to be going to get his blue buff, I believe. No, giving it to Meteos. Thought maybe they're going to trade it over, but Meteos wants the experience. He needs to get ahead of I Will Dominate so that he can go into the jungle and start killing him, since the lanes are planned to all be pushing for Cloud9. Meteos doesn't necessarily need to gank. He just needs to be stronger than the enemy jungler so he can go kill him.
That's what Meteos loves to do, is get in the jungler's face. We'll see if the lanes permit it. Balls is keeping that Quas pushed up on Renekton, or with Renekton, I should say. Pretty standard here in the top lane, and it looks like the bottom lane of Sneaky and Elimination has been pushed back a little bit, but each wave they get, they're kind of just hitting it with the Piltover Peacemaker and putting it back into the turret.
Ooh, I Will Dominate snuck past Meteos in the jungle, and he's going to be trying for that bottom lane gank right about now.
Level 3, red buff is on as well. Who are they going to be able to get? The flash! Oh, he does get Elimination off of his flash. Very nicely played by Dominate. He also got counter jump.
Yeah, he feels good about that one. He's back in the game. He's a very emotional player. Big reactions after successful gank. And yeah, when he loses his blue buff, to be able to come back, sneak through his opponent's jungle, and get a kill while burning a flash, huge move.
Meteos now kind of has to answer to that. Jungler now for a jungler. He's level 4, so it is going to be pretty formidable gank coming in. If High can get a lockdown on the Ethereal Chains, let's see what he can do. Level 4 to level 4 in mid. Nobody with too big of an advantage as they almost hit 5. See more jungle presence trying to tilt this lane. It's going to be very big. Both of these champions right now, High and Voidboy, have that potential assassination coming into the late game.
Especially level 6. I'd say Syndra actually has more kill potential at level 6 than a LeBlanc does.
I'd stick with that.
Get enough orbs down on the ground, and have the mana to finish, it's incredibly potent. He doesn't have quite enough harass down onto high as of yet to be able to threaten for a kill, but he's probably going to be looking for a little bit of harass right now before he hits 6 to try and trick high into sticking around and getting a kill on him.
Voyboy has pretty low mana, so he's going to have to last hit all of these. So we won't have too many orbs on the board.
This exact same situation happened in Curse's game against CLG, where Voyboy got high low, and then he tried to turret dive and ended up dying. Voyboy had Ignite in that game. This time he has Barrier, actually. So the kill potential is lower. But the fear is real.
Yeah. The fear is definitely real. You can see High is completely last hitting. He sees the distortion used coming out. Voyboy is just, Voyboy is last hitting, I should say. And he sees the distortion used. He's going to go ahead and use his mana. 6 now, finally. But High is too healthy. Dominate coming around the backside once again. Looks like he will see a pink board. Good for him to get. That's where Cloud9 loves to put him early, too, is on their side.
Well, they love to put him there because it kills them if they don't. Yeah. They didn't have a pink ward in there earlier, and that's the reason that Lemonation gave up first blood. You're not going anywhere.
He's level 6. He does want to get it back. Lane all pushed up. 52 to 50 in that lane. We saw Quas going with a different of a build yesterday on his Zephyr. Along
a lot
with,
of attack speed.
Bit of attack speed, yeah. You could say that. Sneaky in the bottom lane. 51-41. Doing quite well.
Yeah, this Caitlyn lane pushing very heavily in, especially with that Frostfang on Lemonation. A lot of harass damage that is somewhat unsustainable for Curse, which is why they're deciding to stay back at their turret. That early pick Leona for Bunny Fufu, not creating any action in the lane, but instead will be used for the mid and late game team fights for them. This time, though, Curse escaping the early game a little bit without a disadvantage. You know, being up 500 gold right now is actually very good for them. They usually get dictated to in the early game. And thus far with the first blood, it is a huge swing for Curse mentally.
Yeah, Voyboy's chances are looking pretty good in mid if they do go toe-to-toe. He got a chalice to the 2 rings in the boots of High, so he'll be able to withstand again on the distortion.
He is just on point with that Syndra E, knocking High back. And you know, with the Chalice and the Double Thorns, he has the mana flow to just continue to shove in the Blanc and therefore neutralize High's roam. High can't clear waves as of yet. And Voyboy does have the upper hand in this lane, unless he were to be ganked.
Wards are going down all around. They just put the pink ward in, and it looks like Bunny Fufu himself gets a ward down. So they're making sure Voyboy stays safe, as well as setting up what could be Dragon in just a few minutes. They don't have any roam from the top lanes just yet, but everybody is getting together.
Yeah, they have the blue buff timer, which is incredibly key. This could be the fight. If Bunny Fufu was 6, this would be a much different time.
Ooh. Bunny Fufu kind of wanted that, but they knew without being level 6 to Meteos and Sneaky at 6, they were not going to have the advantage. Vision on High just above them is going to be cleared out, actually, so they're pretty in the dark in their own jungle.
And it's not like Leona's going to be hitting 6 anytime soon. Half a level away right now, which means this is a fairly potent invade. Lemonation isn't 6 either. If this was a fight, it would actually be fairly close. It would depend on how good Voyboy's stun was on the blue. That's why no one is actually taking damage or aggro of the blue buff, because that would put them at a disadvantage. Curse is just trying to wait this one out, and now they got to worry about the smite coming over the wall from Meteos. Dominate has to secure that one.
Oh, he tries to get a little cheeky smite down, can't get the full vision of it, or at least the smite timing. 1-0 in the kills. We saw quite a bit ago. So far, it's just stalled out. Both teams are trying to make moves, though, but they're both stopping each other dead in their tracks.
I still think that was a fairly important move by Cloud9. Even if they couldn't steal the blue, they denied it from Voyboy.
Yeah.
And that is very critical, because High needs to be able to roam around on the Blanc to make an impact. And if Voyboy had the blue buff, he would shove the lane much faster, diminishing High's roam potential. Without the blue, that's not as big of a possibility.
See where they decide to go. Dominate, looking to do more ward clearing.
He's scared of that pink ward, as he should be. The Blanc and Kazix could eat him if he tried to kill that.
Yep. Walks right away from it. They'll have it for later. A little bit of gold that he can put in his pocket whenever he wants. High getting the blue buff over here. Meteos is low, so I don't know if they'll try to activate anything on this. They don't see Voyboy in mid. 69-79 in that lane. This game's going a little slower than I thought in aggression.
And that's actually right up Curse's alley. The fact that they haven't been pushed around at all and they're still up in gold in the early game bodes very well for their future here. Having the Leona and the Trundle for those potential late-game team fights. Very beneficial for them. Even the mid-game Dragon fight, they could come out on top. This is a very strong early game for Curse against a Cloud9 team that is heavily favored.
Like they may be trying to get a dive down onto Quas. This could be quite tough with a subjugate going down. It's like it's going to be just a roam. He's on top of a ward. Quas keeping himself very safe. But it looks like mid lane's getting a little bit of attention here from Dominate, and they may try to do something bottom with that vision top lane.
Yeah, they want to push this in right away before LeBlanc can get back down there. At least a very fast Dragon Taker, but Cloud9 is collapsing as quickly as they can. Curse has to be very careful they don't burn too many cooldowns on the Dragon that they might need for a potential fight.
Meteos only gets himself in on this. He's got to be very careful about the out. They don't try for it. And it looks like they're just going to get a few here and there's from High on the side. Dragon picked up by Curse,
Yeah.
11 minutes in.
Good objective control there by Curse, something that they have been working on quite a lot this season. Get the one Dragon. Now they have to make sure they don't lose turrets. They're a little bit slow on their rotation back because Cloud9 caught him with the jump. High with the blue buff threatening. Voivoy's not letting himself get isolated, which is why he had to wait for that minion wave.
They want to get the extra damage fed for free. Dominate on the outside. Be careful with that HP, Dominate. Just gets a cocoon on the Meteos to get the presence. Too much damage just yet. Oh, Frozen Domain goes down. That's one slice. Guess he's the dice. Not going to be there, or already used it. And it looks like Balls is just left by himself in the top lane. Damage on the turret is to half. He may be able to get this.
Yeah, that's a big enough minion wave that I think he will be able to. When left to his own devices, Balls winning that 1v1 matchup. No one really beats Renekton in lane, so it is to be expected. But to take the turret 12 minutes in is actually a little bit unexpected, so good job to Balls.
A little bit of pressure now relieved in the top lane for Cloud9. We do have to worry about it on the side of Curse, however. That split push is going to be coming in. There's the damage we were looking for. It's the follow-up for Meteos. High, keeping himself alive as well. Voidboy doesn't have that power yet as well.
It really shows how punishing the Cinder versus LeBlanc matchup can be. The one time he misses his Scout of the Week onto High here, he dies for it. High got point blank, landed the root onto Voidboy, comboed with Meteos, who flashed in for that stun, and it gives him the clean kill. That's how difficult that matchup is with Voidboy. But he's played this matchup in the past and came out on top. Not that time, though.
Nope. Definitely had a good game last time. 12:50 into the game. We reached 13 minutes, an unlucky number right now for everyone. But everybody's looking to turn the advantage in their favor.
Yeah, who's 13 a lucky number?
Yeah, the gold lead going in favor of Cloud9. Not good for Curse. They needed that early game lead. And so far, they're holding steady. But if the scales tip any more, Cloud9 takes advantage very quickly and things begin to escalate.
Get that ward. No. Could have gotten it. There was no threat, but he didn't know that. So.
Nope, trying to clean house. Misses that one. Lemonation back down to the lane for himself. Sneaky a bit off this wave, but Lemon should be able to stall it. 120 to 120 in that bottom lane, so Sneaky technically quite ahead. He's going to clear out this.
Get on the second go around. Put a ward back down.
Lemonation clearing it out.
Very even lanes, farm-wise. Very even game gold-wise.
Wow.
Nice knockback by Void, but he still gets hit by the tether.
Still not a huge amount of damage coming out just yet. The Deathfire Graphs looking to be built out from High. 14 minutes into the game, quite slow. Usually we see at least a core item by now. Somebody going strong. I guess that'll be Balls for us. The Hydra's finished in the top lane. The junglers have theirs as well. Bloodthirsters on the 80 carries. The fight could be big on the next Dragon.
Yeah, especially early on in the game, since Balls knows he has to go up against that stat-stealing Trundle. He goes full damage. Pretty good choice right now. And the blue buff battle continues. But Dominate grabbed it knowing the invade was coming. Again, and it's successfully denied, though, from Voidboy.
Quick wards. We need those little lizards. Put out 2 wards just to grab it. And they actually left it, I believe. Maybe one of them took it.
It got cleared out.
You're right, it did. Looking at the mini-map, it's gone. 20K, right across the board. High makes it 20.2. One turret's down. A lot of gold to be picked up in these lanes. Everybody's kind of stalemating, though, just seeing where the laning phase takes them.
It's going to take him into a big team fight pretty soon, especially with that teleport from Quas being up right now. The next Dragon fight, even though it's not within the next 2 minutes. Now it is.
Oh.
Look out, boy. Great stun, but the double chains.
Oh man, whoa, the damage goes out. No ignite to be had there. The burn is on, teleport comes in. Quas throws down the
he's
pillar in the
trapped a little
domain.
bit.
He gets the subjugate on. He starts to swing. This is the Quas from yesterday on Trundle, and he picks himself up a kill.
Blade of the Ruined King, damage with damage, and Voidboy just barely living through that one. This is going to be a big push down Curse in the mid lane, reacting very well to that gank from Cloud9.
C9 had the right idea there, but Voidboy making out with a sliver of health tilts things in the favor of Curse. They pick up mid-turret very nicely off of this and open up the map a bit for themselves.
Huge teleport down. He got the red buff out of that too on Trundle.
The Ball's having fun in the top lane while that was going on. Looks like he's just feeding that turret with minions right now. Nobody's going to be able to grab that. Almost called Voidboy to the top lane. Wow, Sneaky takes quite a bit of damage. A good slow with the Caliber net on to dominate. A few extra turret shots, but he is out. Comp is keeping him safe. Everybody's kind of backing now, but we do see that Balls is heading towards the bottom lane right away. So Dragon's going to be in the eyes of Cloud9 here. 40 seconds.
And they know that the teleport is down on Quas. That's why everyone's kind of grouping up right now for that next Dragon. But let's just take another look at the mechanics in this fight for Voidboy. He does knock back Meteos, but he doesn't knock back high. So the delay on Meteos going in, I think definitely helped him. Double things. And the big thing with Meteos here is he didn't evolve his Q. He evolved his leap instead. If it was an evolved Q, Voidboy would have been dead in that fight. But Meteos opted for the mobility, and it kind of cost him there. Everyone just grouping up, just trying to gear up for this Dragon. But I think Cloud9 is going to be a little slow. Dominate and Quas can take this incredibly quickly. They're going to have to rush this down.
Quas is there and ready. Looks like we've got quite a bit of level 11s and 10s across the board participating in this one. Level 11s means the second tick of that ulti. They're going to be going in. Balls gets hit up. Dominus is not used. He throws it down, but the pillar's on him. They're actually not able to get in the fight with their ultimate now used. Dominate is going to go down. Balls puts himself in the middle of the fray. High to the backside onto Voidboy. Quas is going to be there, but it's going to be Meteos coming up big on Bunny Fufu. Curse Cop could be the next one to go down the chain to come out across the wall, but High does not have it ready. Great fight coming in from Cloud9.
Cloud9 had all of the zone control in that fight. It might continue down the bot lane here. Quas sticking around in an unexpected fashion.
He has Blade of the Rune King up onto this one. Subjugate is halfway from the cooldown. He throws down the pillar as well as the frozen domain. It goes on to Sneaky, but he's going to be turned to a fluffy little bunny. He's got to be careful now. Sneaky, a bit of damage charged up on that Bloodthirster, and he's not died yet.
LeBlanc is behind them with ultimate up. They got to keep running.
Ooh. Ooh. There's one distortion. There's two, but a beautiful E from Cop. Just kind of reading the mind of High there. Cloud9 is going to be able to grab this turret. They did grab the Dragon, and they just won that last one.
Yeah, take a look at this
fight. Not grab the Dragon,
big things is Balls zoning out Curse, and Voidboy tries to come in at the top of the screen and gets evaporated by High in this fight. Sneaky got enough poke down. You can see Voidboy just dies thanks to that ace in the hole. And because Voidboy never got in, that's the backup Curse was relying on when they tried to turn with Leona. They just didn't have enough left for the rest of the fight. That was kind of a 4v5. The Dragon gives him some gold, but losing 3 in a fight and 2 turrets afterwards is disastrous.
Without the shock and awe damage coming from Voidboy, they have real no consideration to leave the area once Cloud9 engages in that fight. They were more than happy to go through, but it gets scarier for both teams. Now High with the Deathfire Grasp as well as Voidboy. Anybody steps out of place, it's going to mean their life.
And Voidboy, even though he pulled this off once before, is struggling this time against High's LeBlanc and the rest of the Cloud9 team. You could definitely tell Sneaky and High were tag teaming right there against Voidboy, keeping Voidboy so far outside of the fight that he could never become involved. And now with the turret control that Cloud9 got after that fight, Curse will be getting dictated to again. They had done such a good job for the first 16 minutes of this game, Curse that is, of not getting pushed around by Cloud9. But as soon as Cloud9 wins that one team fight, back to their old games.
Cloud9 pushing in, soaking up all the resources that Curse could or would be trying to use to get themselves back a little bit of gold. Quas could find himself a kill here with Bunny Fufu in the top lane. A very nice Solar Flare, the consecutive crowd control, making sure to not stack that in any way. Calm, cool, and collected, they come up with a kill.
Fantastic roam by Bunny Fufu. Balls is so used to being on his own up there. He did not expect Leona, but Cloud9 trying the counter, sending everyone mid lane, knowing Leona ult is down, because how often is support in the top lane?
Not very often. The culling Giving the turret a little bit of breathing room, but it's actually not
Bunny's
going to be
actually
enough. The
behind
second wave
the team
in.
right now with no ultimate.
Got to be
Careful where you go. Teleport as well.
Indeed. Actually, Meteos wants to turn on him. Maybe not saw the teleport right away. They're looking for Sneaky, though. The Zenith Blade, long range from Bunny Fufu. He comes hopping through the forest. They pick up a kill, but it's going to be Meteos jumping around trying to pick himself something up. High gets hit up by Cobb. The W finds its target. Bunny Fufu goes down, and Curse is scrambling as well as C9.
Yeah, but with all that fight happening, it's still just a 2 for 2.
Yeah.
So even though it seemed like a great move by Curse, they didn't get any objectives and they just traded kills. Plus they burned teleport and maybe a few more summoner spells. Nice effort by them because Bunny Fufu, remember, had no ultimate before this fight. So the teleport comes in, and the big thing is High had went right over the wall at the start of this fight, so he wasn't there right off the bat. Good burst by Curse at the start, but it was on... who was it on, actually? Damn. I thought it was on a support. It definitely was not. Anyway, Curse chases through for a little bit. Ignite takes him down, and it is just that 2 for 2 trade. Who did they burst down there? Was it Sneaky? I think it was Sneaky.
I was listening to what you were saying,
Ah.
so that's why I wasn't watching what you were looking for.
We'll go with Sneaky.
6-5, 22 minutes in as we get just past the 20-minute mark. 32.8 to 31.5, and 3-1 in the favor of Cloud9. Curse is doing what they need to get the money back in their favor. Quaz is getting very big again. He was a pivotal role, and to say he was huge on Trundle obviously makes sense, but he was very big. Not going for the same build though.
Yeah, it's actually really difficult to split push against the LeBlanc team, because even if you can take someone one-on-one, LeBlanc can come over so swiftly and deal so much damage in a short time frame that it completely unevens those one-sided fights that he can advantage himself for. Because right now I think he could take balls 1v1, but unless they can get immense ward control, he won't be able to split push safely against High.
Elimination factoring in one of his favorite items in the game of League of Legends. The Mikhail's Crucible quickly for him, and it really applies to this game as well. Scout of the Week can come from quite far as well as Bunny Fufu. Been nailing the solar flares and that Zenith Blade that just started quite a nice 2 for 2 between both of the teams. Getting pretty strenuous now. 30 seconds till the next dragon, so it's only going to get more. Let's see what both teams can do.
Next dragon could be really huge. Curse is going to struggle to get position for this fight, as they struggled with their positioning in the last dragon fight. They need to get over there quickly and get ward control, but you can see Cloud9 beat them to the spot.
Bunny Fufu not worried about being the one that's found.
And that's the choke that Cloud9 got caught in last time. Voyboy needs to have backup as
Yeah.
he comes through that so he can actually position himself in the back line for a team fight. And right now, Cloud9 is just too scary and has too much control in that area.
Looks like Cloud9 is going to try and prevent the fight, at least for now, as the push in the bottom lane. No, they're just trying to
Voyboy
get
made it through.
Cloud9 split.
So a little
is
trap,
split
though. He's
more
back
than
in the same
that.
spot once again.
Yeah. Ooh, that was almost a 3-person distortion with a bit of damage coming in. Very
Choke
nice.
point Curse can't get through. If they come through the blue buff area, it's much safer. But the dragon's going to be gone by then.
Yeah, easily picked up there, coming in for Cloud9. 1 of 3 dragons, though, so that means Curse is keeping themselves in this with a bit of objective control in the early game, but the early game didn't go exactly their way, and we can see how now it's starting to falter as Cloud9 knows exactly what to do when the fights start to break out.
Yeah. And I do want to mention, along with this gold lead that Cloud9 has, the Spell Thief's Edge on Lulu has given her over 700 gold to this point, so it's definitely helping that aggressive start compared to the Dorn Shield start on Bunny Fufu, which was giving him no extra gold.
And the medallion coming in for Bunny Fufu, 170.
Exactly. He's just waiting to make that talisman.
Yep.
It's more about the active than it is about the gold generation
Yep.
for Bunny Fufu.
See what they can do. He's got himself the Ruby, a little bit of HP, even with the changes. It's still going to help him out.
400 health now on the Ruby side stone.
Cloud9 grouping again once in mid. We'll see where they can go from here. They want to control the top side of the map and at least get that pushed out for themselves. Dragon was quite an easy pickup there, and they're just waiting for Curse to make one wrong move.
Only Curse could find a way of finding their own fight. Bunny Fufu's looking
Yeah.
for it, but uh-oh.
Able to take quite a bit there.
Oh, the
one more
turn!
attack and come back on. They get Meteos, and that is the ability that both these teams have to make a quick kill.
Oh, but Sneaky sniped him right back. I would still say Meteos 4 and 0-2 support is worth the trade because for the first time ever, Voyboy's got a blue buff. It's actually really huge for Syndra, by the way. because she needs to keep her orbs down on the ground to enhance the damage from her ultimate. Quas is in a lot of trouble, though.
He may be indeed. Ball's coming up from the bottom side. Does not look like he wants to give up pursuit. They're going to get a Whimsy as well.
Yeah.
Actually, that was used by Lemon Nation, so he goes ahead.
You know.
Tries to get the Blade of the Rune King on. You might get the execute here.
He's going to get cut off.
Oh no, the long range.
Where'd it go?
He throws it down. He's going to do what he
Back
can.
the other way.
Valiantly going down, doing as much damage. The shutdown, very nicely going over to Sneaky.
Yeah, the turret, not necessarily worth it, but the question is now if Cop can get the turret back and there's no objective taken by Cloud9, it would be. However, with Quas being dead right now, vision control for Cloud9, they might go in with almost no one.
Oh, Lemon Nation trying to keep himself alive. That Lulu pick on support playing a big role. Kept it away from Boy and keeps it in the game to keep himself alive. Sneaky now taking shots over at Dominate. It was the flash from Lemon. Not even going to get the hook initiation. He's just doing it to Glitter Lance.
Yeah, but yet another kill from Cloud9. They got to make sure they don't get into that one at a time, everyone going in. But that's what Cloud9 is forcing them into right now with this vision control to Baron buff.
Cloud9 still trying to make something happen. A bit of vision there from Cop. Gets a good attack on, and he sees where they're coming from. Keeps himself safe. The Triforce built up for Lucian. We've seen actually a lot of Lucians kind of just
So much variety
away from that. Yeah.
in his item build. You can see Infinity Edges, you can see the Ghost Blade. But just this catch, they thought they could burst out Lemon Nation. Boy wasn't in range for the ultimate at that point, so he had to just have a little bit of support. And it's because this is a 3v4 that Curse had to run away. If they can't get the first kill, it is no longer a fight that they can stay in. But because they did get some damage down to Cloud9, they're able to get some vision control back now with Quas, and no real damage done.
3,000 gold lead is teetering in favor of C9 right now. Just kind of mentioning the Lulu pick. Two top-tier picks for the mid lane right now were grabbed up on that side. Quadra for Boy in his last game on that Lulu. So they did a great job in picks and bans, keeping good champions away.
Video's caught a little bit.
Bunny Fufu getting that Leona, though. Great solar flares to initiate the fights. A little off on the culling, so they cannot continue to initiate. Good try coming in from Curse.
Yeah, Cop just about got blown up, too, on the side of that fight. So it was one shot for the other. Both teams trying to burst each other down. They're like, all right, neither team got a kill. Everyone back to base. Let's try it again.
Try it again, indeed. And it looks like Curse is actually a little more into trying it again. Before, they were a lot more hesitant. The calls would come out, and everybody seemed to say, no, let's not do it. But it looks like Dominate's yelling loud now, and everybody is following suit. Seeing what the items are coming in. Not too many changes. Everything stays the same.
Cop needs to shop. He is waiting on... Okay, he just got enough gold for his last Whisper. That's going to be very huge for him in the next fight, because he's going to be the one that has to slice down balls if balls start zoning him. Finishes that last Whisper. Big gold increase for him. Cop and Curse are in a similar situation they've been in many times this year, where the game is at the point where they need to force team fights, but they're just a hair behind.
Yep.
How many minutes have they spent being 3,000 or 4,000 gold behind and just sticking around? It's so familiar for Curse. It means that they kind of have to wait for the other team to initiate on them or find a 4v5 or a very clean catch, because any type of evenly initiated team fight will go to Cloud9.
Right.
Curse has to play exceptionally in order to come back.
That's going to be tough. The Talisman of Ascension was actually finished quite quickly after the Mikhail's Crucible, still surpassing Bunny Fufu's completion of the Talisman of Ascension. So even more utility can be used here by Cloud9 in these initiations. Bunny Fufu just on the outside. And you can see in the bottom lane, Quas was pushing.
It's a timer right now. Meteos kills that so fast right now. Curse has to go in pretty much right now.
Looks like they will.
They're
Wards
slow
go
in
down.
this.
They try to get the
So
W
slow.
in. Dominate's going to be the one to go over the wall. Cloud9 pulls off of the Baron. The culling comes out. It's going to be just hitting balls on the backside. And it looks like the initiation goes in. Meteos gets out, but very low. Quas comes around from the backside of the teleport from the bottom lane. Will he be able to do enough in this fight? Instantly turned into the little bunny. Boy stays alive. Both teams get out of this, but there are blinking red on both sides.
Jeez, that was a close fight. Everybody gets away with their life, but Cloud9 had to send 2 back to base. Curse got to get back to base very soon as well, so they can just do those fights again and again. It was a slow rotation by Curse, but appeal by Cloud9. Cloud9 didn't realize how slow Curse was coming and could have finished off that Baron before the fight, but instead they ended up fighting him, and it ended up being pretty clean by Curse. This is a dragon ramp that Curse can't defend. Gold lead will increase for Cloud9.
Cloud9 would love the fight here. Curse is putting up such a good fight coming into any of these, you know, quarrels that Cloud9 tries to put them in. Curse is not making the mistakes. I wouldn't say they usually do, but often do hurt them.
And I do feel like that last fight was an example of how strong Cop actually was. He took down a lot of Ball's health before that fight and made it so Cloud9 didn't have a front line, which is why they had to run away. Cop still continues to impress on AD carry, I'd have to say.
Highest farm.
Highest farm in the game. Playing with his 6th support in the last year, yet continuing to perform on a high LCS level.
Went from pretty much playing Misfortune all one split to having one of the
diverse champion pool. Can play Draven,
pools right
one
now.
of the most technically complex AD carries maybe Legends has to offer. Draws bans with it sometimes.
Indeed he does. 31 minutes into this one. Cloud9 now giving Curse a bit more respect. Not as much in the jungle, not as much deep warding. They know they don't have the right to be there now that Curse is really putting their foot down. Curse maybe showing that the late game is something they've been working on.
Well, they've gotten a lot of practice with it.
This is true.
They average the 2nd longest games of LCS teams. So they play a lot of long ones.
Definitely going to help out. Previous splits, we would see teams get to this point and then not closing it out would be a problem. But with all this practice we'd see teams getting, it's been much more definitive and methodical, especially from Cloud9, like we said in the preview. They're just a team that knows systematically what they need to do, what they need to take after getting something. Nice little bit of push damage on to get Lemon Nation attacked.
Fight for me. Also have to note that the talisman has been built by Lemon Nation now. Despite all the gold he had generated from his Frostfang, the push and pull of fights and the move speed granted by the talisman is just too good of a late game active to pass up. Bunny Fufu needs to complete that as quickly as possible. They want to keep their mobility in line with what Cloud9 has.
The sweepers are down right now. You can see that Cloud9 always uses 3 sweepers. Lemon Nation's on the full upgrade with 1 on Meteos and 1 on High. That always allows them to find an invisible player or anything if necessary. No Eve this time, but you can see only 2 on Curse's side. Leaves always a few wards up for Cloud9.
Yeah, another Baron that can go so fast to Bunny Fufu was just back into base. He's got home guards, but he is still a long way from the Baron pit.
The Talisman of Ascension not finished either, so he can't get there any quicker.
Cloud9's going to finish this down.
Kill going over to Dominate. He will not be able to help the fight. Cop doing what he can. 1 for 1 so far in the fight. As they do take down Baron, and they're going to fight with it. Lemon Nation goes down. How much is this Baron going to do for them besides just golden experience? Double kill for Cop coming up big in the fight. They do have eyes right now onto the Croc. They're going to take him down. A triple kill coming in for Cop. 5-0-2 on the game. It's what they needed.
A great collapse onto the Baron from Curse. Despite not getting the Baron, they take 3 of the buffs off Cloud9 already, and now they have the man advantage if they can make something happen with this. But objectives are key right now. Their lanes were not pushed. Oh, Quas, can you fight him?
He's got quite a bit of HP.
He's gonna get isolated.
Subjugate's down. He gets hit up quite hard. The ultimates are just gonna keep triggering in for Meteos. He plays that one for sure. Secures the kill, but loses the mid lane turret as Curse is still getting something off of that last fight.
What a good game that's developing right here from Curse. Take another look at this one, and Dominate gets bursted down by High, but then he catches him with the stun right beforehand, which was tremendous for the overall impact of this game, because now Curse doesn't have to worry about getting caught out by LeBlanc, which means Curse and Voyboy can go fully aggressive here. They can just chase down the targets. It was actually smart of Cloud9 to split up here, otherwise it would have been a clean ace. Curse decided to only chase 1 target, not wanting to isolate themselves from Kha'Zix, and they basically neutralized the advantage that would have been taken by Cloud9 for getting there. Oh dear.
Whoa! Whoa! Good amount of long range there. Bunny Fufu not ready to hit the solar flare. They were kind of getting choked up on minions, but that is something that Sneaky will have to take into consideration from now on.
Yeah, Voyboy had to use his barrier though, because
a little back and forth.
Tried the assassination. This would be a time, I think, for Boy, even though it's very important that he can do the maximum amount of damage, just based off what happened in the CLG game and knowing that High is targeting Voyboy, spend the 700 gold and get the Negatron Cloak. I think it would be safe enough to help him a little bit and not get completely one-shot, maybe have a bit of counterattack at High.
A lot more of these AP assassinations coming in. A lot more Banshee's Veils have been surfacing. Ball's already putting that in as his 3rd item now, getting that defense in. The Really, the Hydra is the only thing he wanted to keep that lane a problem, or any lane he's in a problem, keep it pushed. Black Cleaver coming out from Meteos, he is getting quite big as well. Good amount of synergy coming in from the team.
Yeah, all told, that's 324 attack damage on Kha'Zix. Because of the extra added by the Baron buff. Him and Sneaky the only two with the Baron buff still. But Curse showing they can initiate. You know, that last initiation was actually done without the Talisman of Ascension completed on Bunny Fufu.
Right, he had a long haul to get out of base there. So that was them fighting without him for a little bit. See what happens next time. He is not one that is afraid to go in. His initiations have been spot on so far. I don't think we've seen a missed Solar Flare or really a Zenith Blade unless he's wanted to hit it, and he usually does. Yeah, and it is very key before this team fight that Cloud9 has a very assassin-heavy team composition. So High and Meteos need to find those people out, because if it's a brute force 5v5 where everyone's in a cluster, Curse will have an edge, despite having a 7,000 gold disadvantage here. About 45 seconds left on Baron. Dragon is alive. We'll have Baron up in about 3 minutes 30 right now. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a long time. 3 minutes, a lot can happen here for Cloud9. Curse trying to get out of their base just a little bit, but you can see 3 of them in the bottom lane here, and the other 2 just keeping the lanes pushed. Curse is getting a little bit starved out of gold. You can tell Voyboy has a lot of things that he wants to build, but not being able to get any kills in team fights and being pushed back to his base and basically giving his farm over to Cop. Cop at 380 right now, trying to multiply his damage with an Infinity Edge very shortly. Means Voyboy is going to be stuck around his level of farm for quite some time. 0, 2, and 7. He's trying to do quite a bit for himself with those assists. Usually you see Voyboy on the kill list, but not this time. It might be impacting how much he can get into the fights and how much damage he can be doing. The Deathfire Grasp is there, but it's not a needlessly large rod on a Void Staff. Right now, High is trying to get in for those assassinations. Ball's trying to tank up as much as he can too, working on a Thorn Mail. 320 CS on Renekton. The big disparity in this game is aside from the 80 carries. Banshees have at least that stun. Curse has just got to find a way to group up and find a clean initiation. It's just so difficult against the mobility of Cloud9 because as soon as Curse goes in, they're exposing their backline to an assassination from LeBlanc and Kha'Zix. Wow. Proceed with caution. There, that's just a dead Leona. Yep, that's the magician at work. Quas, he is trying to stop the team from coming in, but Balls, Meteos, and High are right to the back line instantly. Lemon Nation is trying to walk into the base because those guys close so much amount of space in a short amount of time. They are still back there now in a 3v1, but they have taken the turret. The team regroups in the 4 now. They're going to take the inhibitor, possibly almost going down as Dominate, a sliver of health. Quas now could be in a bad spot if they get the polymorph down onto him. It's going to be a few more hits. The distortion goes in. It's going to be enough to take down Quas, and Cop has to be very careful. That was almost everything he had. Oh, Dominate goes down valiantly. And that is so many kills for Cloud9. Cop the lone defender, Bunny Fufu, to join him in a very short amount of time. Can they hold it? Cop's doing what he can, throwing every bullet he has at the opposing team, and it looks like it's enough to get Cloud9 out of there for now. Cloud9, however, is just stacking Chain Vest. Got the Aegis now on Elimination. They're ready to stay in these fights. And that fight was just so unexpected for Curse. Basically, High spent the whole game trying to go for squishies. Oh boy. That Bunny Fufu didn't realize he was one of them too. Yeah. He didn't have his W up, I believe, by the time he got bursted down. So he is just a piece of paper on Leona right there. And High shreds directly through it. And then once it's 4v5, Cloud9 just pops a Talisman and goes. There's no counter Talisman because the support is dead. They get directly onto Voyboy, stop him as well. And then it's only because all the turrets are there for Curse that the game wasn't just over right now. And some good positioning by Cock to keep himself alive in this fight. That's the only reason this game isn't over right now. Very impressed by Cloud9 as they make their way to these turrets. They don't have too much that allows them to poke at the turret, but Sneaky walking up now and then. But if they dive past it, then they're good to go. Yeah, they don't have to worry about much. At the very end of this fight, even though it seemed like Owl Dominate got himself killed, if he doesn't jump in front of Cop for that, even the target, you can see he was trying to target Cop with that one. If he doesn't eat that, he cannot defend as well as Cop, and the game would have been over once again. So yeah, Curse
hanging on by a thread.
That was a good choice. Cop also had double buff, so they prevent Sneaky from getting those too. Looks like the red has worn off, so he's just hanging with the blue. Dominate, getting a little in a bit of a scary position there, but he gets himself safe. Nobody wanted to fully initiate on the spider. It's too easy to repel out. Good damage onto Dominate. He actually
Anyone's a
has
target.
Randuin's.
Cloud9
Whoa!
really
half
wanted
of
to
the
go.
HP onto Voy Boy. Good thing that was not high. He remembers what happened coming from Link last time on LeBlanc. He needs to keep himself in the back line.
There was so much fear and chaos there that Quas was not able to get in front of Voibo for that block.
Yeah.
And he's in the danger zone right now. Not even a full combo from high would kill him. Everyone has to be on LeBlanc alert right now.
Good little push. Shield to Meteos, so
man.
much damage coming out. The pillar might be what they needed to save him. The repel misses out on the Q damage from the backside. Boy gets exploded. Deja vu for him. Quas is going on the chase, but wasn't too much. He needs to turn around and focus the rest of the team. He gets popped up by Wild Growth. A 5v1 now as they return to the fight. Sneaky returns for a kill, a double kill for him. Coming in is a third kill for Meteos. They look for the slow on the Cop, but he's already too close to home.
Yeah, it's a tough loss for Curse to swallow here with a 7-0 Lucian, just getting picked off time and time again in team fights by very good LeBlanc game from high. The ace comes in, 41 minutes, Cloud9 looking to win.
Cop goes down inevitably in the end of the game. 7-1 and 2, a great game for him, but Cloud9 persevering, coming out on top and making sure the mid game was everything that they wanted. 20-11 at 41 minutes in. Cloud9 makes himself 14-4.